Welcome to the space for transformational leaders to unleash their magic, see better client results, work lighter, and live source. Hey there, this is Darla, founder of Sourced, author of Shift the Field. Today's video is when to pull your energy back. So as you may have noticed, I've been doing a lot of talking about energy lately. In fact, my book, Shift the Field, is all about how do we shift our energy field and create entirely different results in our life. Now, one of the things that's key is to start to be very attentive to energy, right? And one of the things I've learned as I've been helping people discern their magic or the way source works with and through them to just kind of know things. One of the things I'm aware of is that most of you are very impactful in your life energetically, and you tend to be givers. And so when you show up in relationship, maybe it's your heart, your loving energy, maybe it's your expansion energy, like your ability to make things happen or expand someone's thinking. Maybe it's your compassion energy, which is your ability to receive and accept and validate people right where they are. That this energetic giving is a gift. So if we were in a room live, I'd say, raise your hand if you agree that your energetic giving is a gift. So breathe that in. And now I want you to consider that there are humans in your life that receive the gift, but they are not appreciating, acknowledging, or reciprocating the gift. Now, I'm not saying that giving and receiving should be one-to-one, or even that whoever you give to needs to give back to you in the same way, because it'll come back in some other way. So I'm not talking about measuring in that way. What I'm talking about is a healthy flow of energy between two people. So in part of my own work on my energy field and keeping it clean, I've been studying the relationship between empaths and narcissists. And one of the things I learned that I really want to share is that the empath is that giver of energy, whether it comes, in the different ways I talked about. You show up on the scene and people feel better. You show up on the scene and you ask the question that opens something up for people. You show up on the scene and you cause a new awareness to come into the space, or you move something forward, and it's in your beingness, whether you know it or not, a lot of times, right? And so what about a relationship with someone who is unhealthy, right? Who's not going to actually take that and build with it, but who's actually going to take that and just take it, right? Take it and destroy it. Take it and crush it or dim it or whatever it may be. We want to be aware that we limit our contact and our giving in a relationship like that. So what is the answer or the suggestion when we notice this happening? Well, first of all, you may not notice it happening because the giving energy is such a part of your beingness that you can't even imagine being any other way. And so when that is the case, we have to kind of take it to an exercise. So I just want to share a quick exercise that you could do to take a look at this. So I'm a big fan of T-charts. So this just says give and receive, give on the left, receive on the right. And I want you to think about your top 5 relationships, the people you spend the most time with. And we'll call them, that marker needs to be replaced, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, so you would put their names here maybe, but the top 5. And I want you just to evaluate, how is your giving of energy in this relationship? In other words, when you show up with person A, how does it feel? What are you giving energetically? Are you listening? Are you a safe space? Are you validating? Are you giving ideas? Are you giving encouragement? Are you trying to help or fix or rescue or whatever, right? I'm not I'm not discerning between healthy and unhealthy. Just what are you giving? Okay. And then what are you receiving in these relationships? So as an example, my friend Stacy, I feel, there are times where I feel, because I have historically had trouble taking up space, right? So there are times where maybe I'm sharing and I become aware, like, ooh, I'm taking up a lot of space here. And then I pause and I think, is there also space for her? Yes, of course, right? We have a very good giving and receiving, and sometimes one of us needs more space than the other, and it works really, really well. I may have other relationships where there's a giving of listening and space and validation, and then when I notice if I am in a need of something, that person isn't picking it up, or they're not actually available for that, right? The reciprocal isn't actually there. So if you do this quick exercise and do it with 5 people and just see what you notice. And if you notice that there are some relationships where you are giving energetically and you're not quite sure if you're receiving, because you've actually just shown up in the giving role so much that you don't really know. If you have a relationship like that, here's what I want you to consider. See what it feels like if you pull back energetically. Now, the other person may or may not notice, and in particular, if they're a narcissist, they may not notice that you're doing this. But I want you to give yourself the experience of what it feels like to pull back energetically, to maybe not be so intent on listening, maybe not employing, what we at Source call your magic, right? Maybe you're not employing your magic in this relationship at this time. You're not putting the pieces together to see the big picture. You're not helping them discern something. You're not even actually validating or receiving. You're just pulling your energy back, and notice what happens, right? Because it's possible that you're giving and not receiving because you literally haven't made any space to receive. And it's possible that you're giving, and that person is actually being fueled by your energetic giving, and they have no interest in giving back to you. This is important information because if that is the case, right, that other person or those people could very easily be depleting you of your life force energy without you even knowing it. And you just think it feels like normal, like, oh, this is what it feels like to be me. Right? I'm a giver. I'm a doer. In fact, this giving, this doing, and people loving to be around you because you're fueling them energetically probably feels pretty good to you. In fact, it might be how you learned to survive in your family of origin, right? You were needed energetically. So people wanted you around for that reason. And if for whatever reason you didn't believe that you were enough, that you were valuable, that you were wanted, that you were able to take up as much space as you want just for existing, not because of all that you give, you may have never had the experience of anything else. And in fact, it might feel pretty scary. It might feel like death to a relationship if you start to pull that back. And that very well may be, and that may very well be a very good thing. I hope this has been helpful around exploring pulling back energetically. How do we decide whether to test that out? And then what do we notice when we start to pull back? And can we be with that? So that's kind of where the rub is, right? When these deep-seated patterns or deep-seated ways that we have been improving of our value or trying to earn our keep, right, in a way that's actually unhealthy or depleting to us, when we start to pull that back, we don't actually know who we are. We might be very successful and established and doing amazing things in the world, but when we start to pull that back as a way of being, I think this is a rite of passage for most transformational leaders to stop overgiving and attracting unhealthy people, right? When we start to pull that energy back a little bit and trust the other person to show up and bring some energy to the table, it can feel like death. It's like, is it going to work? Are they going to step up? Will they abandon me? Am I going to be okay? And all of these things rush through our cells at the thought of pulling back, right? And if that feels true for you, get some support, receive some support, please. We have one-on-one coaching here at Sourced. We have a 6-month container of support where you can navigate through this and become energetically clean and set healthy boundaries with your clients and your marketing, with your systems, with your team, all of that. We also certify Sourced leaders. So anyone that you would find on our website where we feature our certified Sourced leaders, we wholeheartedly endorse as able to hold the space for you as you navigate an experience of reclaiming all of your own energy field and giving it by choice and discernment rather than as a habit or a matter of course. So if you're in that place, please ask for and receive some support. And doing this work matters. Knowing how to stay energetically clean and aligned is the most important thing you can do as a transformational leader. It really, really is. And if we don't do it of our own volition, the universe will deliver us the lessons that kind of force the issue. So step in, step up, get it cleaned up, and we'll see you in the next video.